Well, who better to start off this week's podcast with King Eric himself? We are staying up. Welcome to Where Pompey Walk. Delighted to have you back with us. We've got Sasha and Phil. And finally, Sasha, Pompey are safe.
Yeah, finally.
And breathe. Goodness me, how many weeks it's been. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. We're, of course, reviewing that win at the weekend against Watford. And, yeah, now what happens next season? But we've got to start, Phil, haven't we, this week with the main man, John Mourinho. What a job he has done. Can you express any more words that haven't already been said about this fella?
No. Like I say, he is. I fear that we will lose him eventually. But while we've got him, we're going to enjoy him because, you know what, he's done a pretty decent job, hasn't he, in his first role as a head coach. You know, he gets us promoted and then keeps us up in the Championship. That's not bad. That's not a bad start.
Yeah, I could fill the whole show here with superlatives about what it said. Ollie says, completed it, mate, over the moon, completely underestimated his team. What a day Monday was. Jordan says, give this man a slightly bigger budget and he'll do wonders. What a job he has done. Sasha, yeah, come on, put it into words. How did it feel when the final whistle went against Watford?
It was incredible. You know, there have been so many times this season, especially away, where the final whistle's gone and it's just been terrible, heartbreaking, frustrating. So to finally have a game where we win at Fratton Park under the sun and it to mean so much, it was a carnival at full time. It was brilliant. Yeah. It meant everything to everyone. Yeah,
and thoroughly deserved. I can't think of one fan in this has anything negative to say about Pompey staying up or wanting Pompey to stay up. It's absolutely fantastic. It's not been easy though, Sasha, has it? I mean, you've done your travels, and there's been times where even you must have thought the worst. Is the January signings the pivotal moment in this season?
I think you've got to look at it and say it has to be. You know, by December time, mid-December, we were bottom of the league, 13 points or so. It looked like it was doom and gloom, you know, injury after injury. But bringing in, you know, really key players that have done a lot for us in the January transfer window and offloading some that were awful, you know, I think it's made a huge difference. And ultimately, it's why we've been one of the best teams in the league since Boxing Day. So,
yeah, absolutely. Fratton Park, Phil, has got a massive reason to do with why you're staying up. Because if you know, based on your away form, I think you're still in the bottom three. I think if I look at the away table, just hovering above it. What is it about Fratton Park which pretty much has made you invincible this season? There's only did West Brom come and win there? There's some random Plymouth came and grabbed
We've had a few dodgy results.
But overall, just summarise it for us.
Absolutely. Again, yesterday, I've said it before, but I'll point it out again. Yesterday, 90 minutes on the clock, we get 10 minutes of injury time, and the crowd just, you know, they responded. In fact, even before then, you know, you're going in 1-0 up on what was, in the context of the results yesterday, yet another must-win game, and the crowd relentless in terms of their support as they have been all season. So yeah, it was great to see, great to hear.
Yeah,
and again, we've mentioned about the pitch as well. You know, the fact that tight pitch, you know, the fans are right on top of the players. That helps us as well as, you know, goes against, I guess, the opposition players. I would expect. I wouldn't like to play there. It can be a bear pit.
Absolutely. Yeah, you summarised it here. You rock my world. What a feeling! Finally confirm another season in the Championship. Up the Blues. There's a guy who posts. I'm not sorry. Where have we gone? There we go. Press the wrong button. There's a guy that hasn't getting much credit online, but we spoke about him earlier, or the brothers earlier. Sasha. Do they need a bit more of a shout out than what we're getting?
Yeah, you know, it took a lot of balls from them to say early on in the season, we are not getting relegated, period. And they did not once track back on that statement. And look, we're now safe. We're in the Championship next season. So obviously they deserve a lot of credit for what they have done. Like, it's easy to say, they should have invested more, and they could have, but ultimately the aim was to stay in the Championship, and we've achieved that. So they've done what they set out to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. Right then, what next then, Phil? What's the target for next season?
Well, the first thing we've got to do is sort out our away form. But I tell you what, number 2 is beat the Scummers home and away, and then number 3, go for the playoffs. We've got to be going for playoffs. And actually, you know what? In this league, anything's possible. We just need to. It's those fine margins. It has been most of the season. And if we can fix, some of those issues, then, why not just go for it? We've got to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to. What have you made of the quality this year, Phil, of the Championship? I kind of asked you, I think, a couple of weeks ago about whether you've been surprised. I mean, we're losing Leeds and Burnley and gaining Southampton and Leicester, so people are already saying, look, the quality is going to go down even further next season.
I don't know. I think, again, if you look at, for me, what sums up the Championship is coming in the weekend where every team had something to play for, either promotion or relegation. I mean, it blew my mind, going in so late in the season. So it is, we've spoken about it many a time, it's a really competitive league. Anyone can beat anyone. Is the quality good, bad, and different? It's a competitive league. I mean, it's interesting. It's nothing like the Premier League, that's for sure. It's a lot more interesting, and I'm absolutely delighted we've got another season there. And like I say, I'm looking forward to sort of building on what we've done so far. Hopefully, like I say, we keep Mourinho. He's critical to what we can do.
Well, therein lies my next. Therein lies my next question. As cheeky as it is, to put it out there, Benji says Mourinho is king, manager of the season. The injuries, the setbacks, the budget. What a man! What a club! Now, West Brom, Sasha, have just sacked Mowbray. Yeah. Norwich today, before we record this, have just sacked Haftorp. We know Sheffield Wednesday are going to be losing probably Danny Roll to Germany. There is 3, dare I say it, clubs of the same size of Pompey in terms of stature and pedigree in the Premier League, who'll be looking for new managers who could probably offer, sorry to say it, a lot more in salary. Are you worried?
I think teams will be sniffing around. That's for sure. They'll inquire. I do honestly think we keep Mourinho for at least another season. I don't see him going. He signed an extension to his long-term contract, earlier on this season. He knows that the board's shown so much faith in him by not getting rid of him when nearly every other club did. And the fans singing "Who needs Mourinho?" We've got Mourinho every single week. Win, lose or draw. I'm almost dead certain we've got him for another year, and hopefully for many more.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah, I agree with what Sasha was saying. I mean, I'd love to peer into John Mourinho's mind, but I would like to think he would want to stay. And his motivation, I would imagine, is more football related rather than money related just now. But you know what? If he goes, you couldn't blame him. As long as, you could see he was going to, a bigger club, one perhaps not guaranteed promotion, but, going to be up there. But you know what? I just hope we keep him. Yeah. The longer the better, as far as I'm concerned. And like I say, I think as Sash was saying, that the sort of faith we've kept in him, or faith we've shown him rather, we didn't sort of panic as a club. I think he would, recognise that, and like I say, at least another season out of him, and take it from there.
Okay. Well, look, and let me add my congratulations as a neutral. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching Pompey games, and like I said before, every fan you speak to here just says when you come as away fans, you're the best. And even our Watford fans earlier said just how much they enjoyed the game, even though they lost. They did have an issue with the referee's decision, which I wanted to just pick up on you, Sasha. You haven't had many in your favour this season, but was that one you got away with?
when I saw that we had Sam Allison before the game, I just kind of defaulted to, oh, right, we're going to lose and we're going to get a dodgy decision or two against us. And it's easy for me to say he had a good game because we won and, we didn't give away any penalties. I think their red card was 100% a red card. There's no debate in that at all. I think Watford fans should just stop crying and just, wait for us next season.
Well, we got to show this because, of course, we obviously knew it was going to happen, and Sadie did his little dance at the end as well. So, yeah, what comes around goes around, Phil, eh?
Yeah. Like I say, it wasn't so blatant from Colby there, but a little subtle dig. And I think Sadie was a bit more obvious, but that was in front of the front end rather than in front of the fans and good in the fans. So, we move on.
Yeah, I think Mourinho said if any of his players ever did that themselves, they would never play for him again. We'll see if he holds to that this weekend. Right, is it party time at Sheffield Wednesday then? Are we going in fancy dressed up as what, bananas, Smurfs? Sasha, what's the plan?
Might have to now that we don't have to worry or panic. It might be a nice night out in Sheffield with a bit of fancy dress, who knows, but it'll be a very good day. I love the stadium, I love the club, and now that there's no added stress or pressure on that game, just enjoy and have a little bit of a party, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be Danny Roll's last game potentially for Wednesday as well. One little thing I wanted to ask you, Phil, is this one as well? Braden says we've got to do everything we can to keep Atkinson now on a permanent. What a player! Is that the first bit of business this club should try and do?
You know what? I'll be honest. I was not interested in keeping him. He's coming in and done a job as a lone player. He's got his fitness back, whatever. But I tell you what, when you sit back and look over the last few games, what a difference he's made having that strong central defence. It's, you know what, he's not the fastest, he's not the most mobile, but he reads the game so well. And he's there. Whenever you need him, he's there. Actually, you know what, I would quite happily sign him up for sure. Yeah. Bristol City might think differently, I don't know. But I guess it depends how they got on potentially in the playoffs. Blah blah blah, but yeah, I would not have a problem if he was here next season. Put it that way.
Sasha?
Yeah, 100%. The only issue is Mourinho himself said earlier in the season, Pompey do not get a fully fit Rob Atkinson. He is a very good player. Like Phil mentioned, he's been brilliant. The only thing that could be in our favour is his age and the fact that Bristol City are in the playoffs. I feel like if they do go up, then we'll get him, or at least someone in the Championship will. But if they don't, I'm not entirely sure. But absolutely would love him at Fratton Park. He's been brilliant.
Okay, good stuff. Right then, so the only thing left to do then this season is to relegate Hull, Phil, eh?
Yeah, thank God we don't have to watch that 94th minute winner from Kamara, that's for sure. Yeah, that's been mentioned a few times. Yeah, it's... Yeah, okay. You know what? After it wasn't exactly relaxing that last 10 minutes of extra time last night, or injury time, whatever. Yeah. But you know what? We got there. Matt Ritchie was like the sort of conductor. I don't think there's a better player at game management than him. That's for sure.
Yeah, put it that way. Yeah, that's one way of saying it.
That's a nice way to put it.
Well done, Pompey, again. Fantastic. Right. We are obviously heading to the final away game this season, so we want to ask you, both of you and you watching, put in the comments what's been your favourite away trip, or doesn't have to even be a trip, you could have watched it on TV. What's been the best away game this season? We know there hasn't been many. It doesn't even be one that you've won, Sasha. It could be one you've just particularly enjoyed as a weekend. Phil, you've done a fair few yourself. What one sticks in your mind?
Well, funnily enough, the one that probably Norwich. I mean, the Good Friday's game was probably the best, just from the point of view, from the result and the context of it, and the fact that we somehow managed to win 5-3. I'm still not quite. Well, I know how we did it, but yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, put it that way, and a very nice surprise. And like I say again, in the context of Friday and Monday and what it's done in terms of our position, that was nice. That was a nice unexpected result. Good stuff.
Sasha, what are we now? You've done. There's 22 done. How many of those do you reckon you've done?
I've done every single game.
Wow. That takes
every single one. Home and away, league and cup this season.
I mean, let's applaud that. That is fantastic. And if the comments, you've done the same, please enter your name. We'll give you a readout next week. Right then, so you're in the best position then. What's been the best? First of all, take the result out of it. Let's hear from you. What's been your favourite away experience back in the Championship?
If we get rid of the result, there's been quite a few good ones, to be honest. I mean, Norwich. It was sunny. It was warm. We went to a really nice pub beforehand. Singing in the concourse before the game, and just everything about that was so good. Especially with how important that game was to our season. The feel-good factor was just incredible. And another one would probably be QPR away. First away win of the season. First away win in the Championship, and it was just brilliant. The atmosphere was great. The feel-good factor was very obvious, and it was just really good times, ones that I'll look back on very positively forever.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, both of you. Finally, then, we're asking for the goal of the season as well. Now, we'll put this to the others next week when Jake and Sam are back. They're currently on their Easter break. There's been a few here that I can think of. Remember back into you talking in the last 38 weeks. Phil, what's been the one that sticks out the most for you?
I wanted to mention Callum Lang, probably for his first goal against Leeds, and I think his second against Coventry. But the one that really sticks out for me is Josh Murphy against Preston. That seemed to just completely change our season. Well, that whole game changed our season from the point of view of Colby coming back in unexpectedly. But in the context of that match, it was going nowhere, and suddenly bang! And from there, we didn't look back in that particular game. And it's all about sort of little steps and little things. And I think that game is a catalyst for our season in so many ways. So that really sticks in my mind.
Bro, Sasha.
Every single goal I noted down has just been mentioned. So I'm gonna say. I'm going to say either Colby's goal against Preston, just because, he just returned back from surgery. Nobody knew he was going to be playing. And then for him to step up and score a penalty. The goal itself might not have meant anything to our season, but, just for the feeling around the ground and for him and for the team, it was huge. And it was just, I felt really happy for him as a person. Like, regardless of the result, even if we drew 1-1, the fact that he managed to play and score was just amazing. And obviously, his goal against Watford, that ultimately is the goal that kept us up. So
kept you up, yeah.
I'm going to go for
that. I have to, again, going back to the Preston game, that for me was just the moment of the season, because before the game, I couldn't get Wi-Fi working on my phone. So I was late checking the team lineups, and by the time I got in the stadium, I had no idea that Colby Bishop had been named on the bench. So when the fans started singing the song late in the game, I'm like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, it just the guys around me started mentioning it, and yeah, that was a special game. That one, I must admit, that was good.
Okay, it'll give you no surprise that when we asked the Plymouth fans their favourite away game of the season and their favourite goals of the season, both came at Home Park. You've got to give them that. Because it's the only one they've won this season. Bless them. Right. Thank you very much. Finally, just some quick ones this week. Leeds and Burnley are both promoted. Sasha, you've watched all the teams. Is that the right result?
I mean, Burnley played terrible football, but they've been consistent and they don't concede many. So I think, that they deserve it. And Leeds are just a brilliant club, brilliant team. We knew they were going up when the season kicked off.
Okay, good stuff. Phil, you can now look down at the relegation races of the games going now with some disdain and a smile on your face. Who do you see surviving? Who do you think's going to make it? Who do you think is going?
I couldn't believe that was what was making yesterday's game so difficult. The fact that everyone was winning. It was like, again, it just shows what the championship is like. What a set of results yesterday. I mean, you just can't call. I still think And I think Plymouth, Cardiff. I don't know. We'll see. But it's nice not to have to worry about it. That's all I can say. That's what we've wanted all season, and now we're here. I'm going to enjoy it.
Okay. Right. Well, you definitely, both of you, go and enjoy a fun last away trip of the season to Sheffield Wednesday. Enjoy the game. We'll catch up with you this time next week. We're still looking ahead to the whole game, even though you wouldn't care one hoot about it, because are you still finishing the top half? Or is that out of the question now? What's that? You still finish 12th, 13th? Look at that. Who cares? Who cares? Well done, Pompey. See you next week.
Nice one.